Hey, you've got Adam from Outlier, and this is the Friday NFL Week 4 props edition of the show that we still don't have a name for. So if you want to tweet us give us a name, we can have a name for this. As you can see, I got a guest here with us, but before we get to him, gonna give you your trend. Did everybody know that night game unders are 9-2 to start the season? Not the game that just happened while we were recording this, but night games unders are 49-24 since the start of last season, and long term since 2019, they've hit at a 60% clip. And road teams just overall are dominating right now. They're 26-22 through 3 weeks. It's the second most road wins through 3 games since 1980. And if that doesn't interest you, then knowing that Taylor Swift is going to be watching Travis Kelce at the Jets game on Sunday and Zach Wilson will be a primetime quarterback for you all, that better get you going. We're going to get right into it. I've got my buddy Scott Reichel from SGPN. He co-hosts pretty much everything over there, from WNBA, NFL, NBA. Actually, you don't do hockey over there, I realized.
I actually can't. I could do hockey, but we have a hockey show already. So
that is true. That is true. But I brought him on so that we could talk a little bit about NFL. Scott, what is a game or games that have caught your eye this weekend that you're eyeing, and do you have a couple props that you've been looking at for fans?
So the first one's going to be a game that looks disgusting on paper, but I do like the prop here. It's going to be in a matchup between the Bengals and the Titans. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow over 37.5 pass attempts at -114. Cincinnati's offense has really just turned into a quick strike. I can't even call it quick strike, just a quick pass offense with a bunch of checkdowns, if you want to call it that. But the point is, Burrow's been throwing a bunch of passes. So going through the numbers here, he's attempted at least 41 passes in each of the last 2 games. And Tennessee is a great team to do that against, because they're really good against the run and they're really bad against the pass. Tennessee's allowing 275.3 passing yards per game, which is the 5th most in the league. Tennessee's allowing just 69.3 rushing yards per game, which is the 4th best in the league. Even though I am aware Cincinnati's offensive line has not exactly been great and Burrow is a little bit banged up, the point is Tennessee doesn't really have a good pass rush, and Cincinnati should just stick with what's been working. You saw Chase get going for like 14 catches and 140 something yards against the Rams. I see a pretty similar style of attack here, trying to exploit a really bad pass defense, and that's going to involve Burrow chucking the ball a lot. So give me Burrow over 37.5 pass attempts.
Nice. And also, I believe, Chase is one of the highest targeted guys that does not have a touchdown yet. So if you want to start looking at that, is there any other games or props that you've also kind of got your eye on?
Yes, there's one player that I've been going back to every time, and you might know this, but they won't. I'm a huge fan of kicker props, and I'm going to go back to Dallas's kicker, Brandon Aubrey. And I'm going to go with the over 1.5 field goals at -110. He's already made 10 field goals this season. 10. In 3 games, he's made every kick he's had. And the Cowboys, we saw it last week. It's been an issue all season long. They're really bad in the red zone at actually scoring touchdowns. The Cowboys have only scored a touchdown on 40% of the red zone trips, which ranks tied for 27th in the league. Not to mention the fact that Aubrey also has a very powerful leg. He can hit from 60 plus, but mostly it's going to be based on New England's defense being a bit underrated. The fact that Dak and McCarthy have really just settled for a bunch of field goals in the red zone, which could result in some extra opportunities there. But 1.5 for a guy that's gone over in 3 straight. It's in a dome. He's got a good leg. I think 110's too cheap. I'll take the over 1.5 field goals.
Yep, that's a good call. Obviously, he cashed for us on that one last week. Thing I'm looking at, I'm keying in on the Commanders and Eagles game. Commanders usually give the Eagles trouble in one game during the season. I don't know if this is it, but I do think that both offenses in the first half are going to at least have some problems. Washington's offense is bottom 3 in DVOA. They're 28th in EPA. They actually bring it on defense. Eagles haven't gotten going offensively in the last 2 games until the second half. So one play that I do like here is the under 20.5 or 20.5, 20.5 for the first half for this. But prop wise, I'm keying in on Dallas Goedert on the Eagles. He's their tight end. For all the things that the Commanders do and don't do well, something that they do very, very well is they control the tight ends. There's only been one tight end out of the 5 that they faced that has had more than 3 receptions. That's former Eagle Zach Ertz. In week 1, he had 6. Goddard had 3 in both games against the Commanders last season. It's just not really a good matchup. They've kind of been making him pretty matchup dependent. They give the Commanders team gives up yards, they give up catches, but they keep the tight end in control. So Dallas Goedert under 3.5 receptions. It's 104 right now. So that's a prop that I like. Scott, thanks for coming by. Where can people find you if they want to find out more?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter at Rice Show Radio. So it's where I'm going to post all my podcasts, all my YouTube videos, stuff like that. So if you want free picks, it's all free. So if you want some free content, check me out on Twitter. Or
Nice.
X, or whatever it's called.
Or X, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nope. And Scott, by the way, is a real good one to talk to about how can I creatively use a boost, as he and I talk about these things usually till 2 a.m. Also, not low key, but high key, very good tennis guy. Thanks everybody for coming by. Like, subscribe, do all those weird things that you got to do with social media videos, and we'll see you in another video.